So thank you, devotees, for joining our online reading session of the book, The Mood and Mission of Srila Prabhupada. So we will start prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Samite Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Smriti Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare काम कर दिया चलो हम लगाए थे कृपा तो हम यस्यास्ते हृदये संवित्तं यस्य देवे पराभक्तिर्यदा देवे तदा गुरु तस्यैते कविता हि अर्थः प्रकाशन्ते वे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तथा कृष्णाय कृष्णाय योऽन्त प्रविश्य माच मां प्रसुप्तां सञ्जीवयत्य अखिल शक्तिधरस्वधाम्नां च हस्तचरणश्रवणत्वगादि प्राणान्नमो भगवते पुरुषाय जय कृष्ण प्रभु वचन सुखाब्दो मंचियं संस विश्व पूज्य विकास Hare Krishna. Okay, devotees, welcome to our session. Okay, Paramatmananda Prabhu, please start chapter 4, perspectives on education.
Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam. So you couldn't attend 2-3 days?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Okay. Perspective on education.
Perspectives.
Perspectives on education. Citing Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Srila Prabhupada often referred to mundane education and explained that godless material education is an expansion of the influence of Maya, simply impediments in the matter of advancing in Krishna consciousness. We are already illusioned, but advancement of so called material education means the increasing of the same illusory propaganda. In the education circles, they are made fools. Education means he is a greater fool. That's all. Murha. Maya Parihita. Jnana. These fools and rascals, their actual knowledge is taken away and they are coming out as educated. That's we are protesting. Of course, Srila Prabhupada was not against education per se. His whole purpose was educational. He recognized that in the modern age there is a necessity for engineers, medical practitioners, and electricians, and they are properly trained in different scientific institutions. However, one should know the difference between perfect and imperfect education. Man cannot do without education. Without education, a man remains an animal. Therefore, in human society, there are schools, colleges, and teachers, not in the animal society. Man is meant for being learned, educated. That you cannot deny. That man's life should not be like cats and dogs, simply eating, sleeping, mating, and dying. That is not man's life. Man's life is to become advanced in knowledge and education. The ultimate knowledge to understand God. If he is so called educated without any understanding of God, then his education is imperfect. If we want perfect education, then we must follow the principle of Bhagavad Gita. Such education will help the whole human society, stating that real education means to understand God. and any education that does not lead one to understand Krishna is false education. Srila Prabhupada distinguished real education from avidya, nescience. Real education is how to solve the problems of life. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukkha, Doshanudarshanam. The aim of real education should be self-realization, realization of the spiritual values of the soul. Any education which does not lead to such realization must be considered avidya or nescience. And to culture such nescience means to go down to the darkest region of ignorance. Unless there is spiritual education, unless one is spiritually enlightened, you have to undergo the process of birth, death, old age, and disease. You may talk very highly and foolishly, but the process of nature, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Bhagavad Gita 13.9, that you cannot stop. Therefore, any education which does not give enlightenment on how to stop death is all foolish talking. Actually, there is no education without spiritual knowledge. One can learn to earn bread, eat, sleep, and mate without a formal education. Animals are not educated, they are not technicians, and they have no university degrees, but they are also eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. If the educational system simply teaches the processes, it does not deserve the name of education. Real education enables us to understand what we are. Formerly, the education system was that the fools and rascals were enlightened to understand his self realization. That is education. At the present moment, so called education means they are already fools and they are being made more foolish. You are born in America, you should think you are American. You are a Westerner. He is already a fool. He has accepted, identified with this body, and is educated, being more and more concentrating on that bodily concept of life. This is called avidya, not vidya. So all these schools and colleges are simply distributing avidya, not vidya. There is not a single institution at the present moment all over the world where real education is going on, simply avidya. Or ordinary academic knowledge is not really knowledge at all. At best, it is incomplete. Ordinary knowledge obtained by a university education pertains only to matter and it is not accepted here in Bhagavad Gita as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. Modern education, they do not even know what is soul, what is this body, how the transmigration of the soul takes place. There is no educational institution all over the world to understand this science, although it is the most important science for the human being. Two basic failings in modern education. They must first admit that they do not know who they are and they do not know who is God. These two things are completely lacking in modern educational systems. Furthermore, there is no education in the modern civilization how to stop death, how to stop disease, how to stop old age, how to stop birth, how to attain eternal life, how to attain blissful life. Due to a bad system of education, Srila Prabhupada perceived men have no desire for self realization. This purposeless education has taught everyone either not to think of God or that everyone can think of God in his own way. The result is people have become godless atheists. Modern education makes people into atheists, educated asses, destined to take the body of an animal. The advancement of material education has produced many graduates, postgraduates, professors, and many other so called enlightened people in this age of Kali. But most of them are being wrongly educated. The result is that the more people are educated, the more they become immoral and atheistic. Moreover, wrongly educated people have practically no faith in the spiritual injunctions. They have no respect for the self realized sages who have left behind many valuable literary works, which are considered the treasure chest of spiritual cultivation. They
Okay.
are so
One
dull,
thing,
they cannot
one thing, one
understand.
thing, one thing I was just thinking is that here, Prabhupada is writing, the result is that more people are educated, the more they become immoral and
Yes,
atheistic. You know who is the most educated or having degrees in the modern Karmi world in India? Who has the number of degrees?
yes. Yes, South India is number one.
Among many famous people, one guy is having lot of degrees. Can
Yes,
anybody
Prabhu,
think of him?
I heard the name. I saw his interview.
What is the question,
Yes,
Hmm?
Prabhuji? Sorry, I could not hear.
Sorry?
What you were asking, I could not hear you. Sorry.
No, you're not able to hear me? You're not able to hear me? Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
What I'm saying is that whom do you think in the modern world is most number of degrees he is having, and he is considered as highly educated and intellectual? Of
Maybe
course, he is
scientist.
against Vedic culture. That is another thing, but he is considered as a very great because he is having so many degrees. At least 20-30 degrees he is having.
Oh,
Shrikant. Shrikant.
Sorry?
His name is Shrikant something.
Oh, that guy, oh, blind fellow. You are talking about that?
Yes, Prabhuji.
I don't know. How many degrees he is having?
20.
Oh, is it? Okay, maybe more than that. This guy is having. You know, anybody guess? Any guesses? If I tell you, you'll say maybe. I think he is B.R. Ambedkar.
Oh, oh.
oh.
Yeah, he's. No, I saw once. He's.
No, no, Prabhuji, no,
They
no,
put
no.
his.
People are there
Ah,
who are more educated than him actually. Means they have more degrees than him. I don't know, but there are many people.
Manmohan Singh is also having lot of degrees. I heard like that.
He is PhD in economics, but means like in that sense, from a material point of view, he's like a scholar. You can consider, but B.R. Ambedkar was an average student actually in one sense.
But whatever it is, I don't know. I have one screenshot wherein he has having more than 20-30 degrees. So many
No,
things.
no,
Huh?
Prabhuji. No,
No.
no.
Then somebody made up, I think. I don't know.
Hmm.
There's so many people like that, which have so many degrees, and they do whole life they study. That is there. And that is that. They have a trauma of education, and even after retirement they study. Many people have written GRE, TOEFL, GATE even after getting retirement. After 70 years of age, he's writing all those.
See,
He's,
one guy,
he's working as a
one SBI person is there. He retired as some manager in SBI from at the age of 60. Then he appeared for MBBS exam. At the 63, he got MBBS degree.
MBBS.
Yes, 63 years.
Wow. There is one lady in Hyderabad University, and I don't know, Hyderabad University or somewhere. She is a physics or math and chemistry professor. She is 95. Still, she is teaching Telugu. She is a Telugu lady, and since 60 years, 70 years, she is teaching. People have that trauma of education. Even in ISKCON, after having become a devotee, many devotees do PhD. And I don't know why they do PhD. What is the necessity of doing PhD? They think that if we get PhD, then we can preach to the people who are already PhD holders. But it is not necessary that PhD people will hear from PhDs. A guy who is very sensible in his speaking, very pure in his chanting, reading, and then following Krishna consciousness very sincerely, he can preach very nicely than a PhD guy. But unfortunately, that guy is not being given an opportunity. That is another thing. But in general, that is the notion amongst the elite, so-called big educated preachers. The educated and highly degree-oriented preachers, those who become leaders, they have this syndrome, they have this phobia, they have this, what is that, post-trauma, post-ISKCON trauma syndrome, I would say, PTS, trauma syndrome. They are having some syndrome in their brains somewhere that if we have a degree, then we can preach very nicely. They have this embedded in their brains like anything. Because I was asked many times my degree, Prabhu, aapne kya padha hai? Prabhu, you're speaking nice English, you're doing this good. Then every time my answer used to be only one. I studied in Aborigine College of India. Every time I used to answer this one only. Aborigines mean, Aborigines means man-eaters. So Aborigine College of India, I used to say. And many times I used to say, but they are so much after these degrees. They will always tell his achievements in ISKCON with the post degree. Oh, he is a very nice degree holder, and he is doing such a big service. He is such and such degree holder, and he is doing such and such wonderful service. Prabhu, he is such and such degree holder, and such and such. He is doing nice book distribution. He is a great pujari. He is heading. No, they think that their heads of their departments should be well educated. Many leaders, they have this post-trauma syndrome of joining ISKCON, that they have this in their brains, thinking that an educated, very well versed in the grades, getting marks, but as we have seen many times, that many people, many devotees who are having degrees, they were unable to manage their own sadhana properly. They were, what to speak of managing a big center or any other place. There are so many devotees like that. There's so many people. They cannot manage their own sadhana. They cannot manage their own life. They have so many problems, mental problems, physical problems, and they are having so many problems with their wives, with their children. So many devotees are like that. It is not the education. Hare Krishna. Yes.
People,
Okay, continue.
yes, people have practically no faith in these scriptural injunctions. They have no respect for the self-realized sages who have left behind many valuable literary works, which are considered the treasure chest of spiritual cultivation. They are so dull, they cannot understand this simple truth that as the child boy is accepting another body, we have to accept another body. They cannot understand. Such dull brains, it will take 500 years to teach them this very simple fact. Their education is so advanced, therefore the word murha is used. So-called education keeps them as an ass. The more educated one becomes, the less he believes in God, in God's law, in the next life, and in sinful and pious activities. Thus, modern education is simply preparing man to become animals. If there is no education to teach a human being what he is and whether or not he is this body, he remains no better than an ass. Noting that the whole system of education is geared to sense gratification. Srila Prabhupada further described, mostly at the present moment, education means to give facilities for sense gratification. Boys and girls in the school and colleges from the beginning, they are given all liberty for sex. So this is not education. Education means to lead the pupil gradually to Krishna consciousness. Lamenting that wholesale people have been miseducated and referring to the wrong type of education being imparted in our universities. Srila Prabhupada elaborated the so-called educational vibrations of the tongues of university professors who do not have spiritual knowledge is like the croaking of frogs. They are so educated, university degree, Maya aparahita jnana. Their knowledge has no meaning. It is taken away by Maya because he does not understand Krishna. What is the use of such knowledge? Modern university education practically prepares one to acquire a doggish mentality with which to accept a position of service to a greater master. After finishing a so-called education, the so-called educated person move like dogs from door to door with applications for some service, and mostly they are driven away informed of no vacancy. Truth Project, stating that modern so-called education is simply a waste of time, producing hippies, shameless. Srila Prabhupada elaborated. In Western countries, the government spends enough money for the educational department to make their citizens qualified. Big universities, big buildings, nice arrangement. There is no scarcity of books, libraries, facilities. Everything royal order but the production hippies. Seeing universities as centers of niche science only, and that the atheistic demonic education imparted to the young in modern universities is simply producing a bunch of demons with titles. Srila Prabhupada wanted to put an end to it. They should stop all this education. This university should be broken because they are producing only fools. What is this education? They do not know what is God, what is the soul, and what is the meaning of education. Simply bodily concept of life like cats and dogs. So what is the use of education? They remain cats and dogs. That is no value. The so-called education is making them all rascals and fools. It has no value. We therefore say that you close all these universities. You are simply producing rascals and fools. You are going to school, college, yet you are becoming most uncivilized cats and dogs. What is the value of this education? The result is hippies. Stop all these colleges and universities. The sooner these are stopped, better for the human beings. We want to stop this nonsense, producing hippies in the name of education. To possible objections, that without proper education, people will not be able to live. Srila Prabhupada countered, you have to preach all over the world that you are simply wasting time by so many departments of knowledge. You are so foolish rascal. Shrama evahi kevalam. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, second chapter, text number 8. Simply wasting time. Our society is practically demonstrating that this Krishna consciousness is the only business and no other business. We therefore do not try even to earn our livelihood. That is the natural instinct of every animal, but we do not try even for that. Let them see practically. We are not busy to go to the office, to business place. We are not interested.
Maybe we have to change these lines.
We are doing this from.
No, I'm saying.
Yes. We are simply interested for Mangalarti, for class, for chanting and dancing. Krishna conscious.
This is too much. If somebody reads this and is being, he will think, what is this Prabhupada is saying like this? We are not busy. We are busy going to the office. We want to preach in the office. And Prabhupada is saying we are not busy going to the office. So many people going to the business place. We are not interested, Prabhupada is saying. But how is that we are interested? Prabhupada is contradicting himself in so many places. Okay.
Krishna conscious education encompasses everything and surpasses ordinary university education. The real purpose of reading Bhagavad Gita is to know Krishna. If one knows Krishna, he knows everything. He knows politics, he knows economics, he knows science, he knows philosophy, he knows religion, he knows sociology, everything. Our books are more than university standard. If they simply study our books, it is more than postgraduates. Tanmanya dhitam uttamam. I consider this the highest learning. Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, 5th chapter, text 24. Being opposed to universal schooling, Srila Prabhupada pointed out its failings. At present, however, everyone goes to school and everyone is given the same type of education, although no one knows what the result will be. The result, however, is most unsatisfactory. As we have seen in the Western countries, especially the United States, has vast educational institutions where everyone is allowed to receive an education, but the result is that most students become like hippies.
There is one devotee. There is one devotee. mm, Now he became famous. Um, like who's been on this? Yeah, one second. There is a one devotee who became famous quite recently. He travels around. He is a brahmachari. Uh, he was asked in one lecture by one Mataji, small girl. She said that we have read Prabhupada's books. We don't have any interest in studying this education, this maths, this social science, this social studies. And we are not interested to read Prabhuji. Why we have to read all these things? We know that anyhow this is nothing way to lead as. And she was going on and on speaking about against education, modern education like anything. You know what that devotee told? Anyhow, you are reading for Krishna. He said you are reading for Krishna. Uh, and she is telling again and again, she is telling that I don't see anything Krishna over here. How am I going to accept Krishna over here? And he is again and again telling, you should think that you are reading for Krishna. Tomorrow it is useful for Krishna. Huh? And one devotee asked, I am doing job. No, the job is for Krishna. Your salary is for Krishna. He is again and again telling, live lecture, I was hearing. I heard him saying. And then I wrote in the comments, live comments, that if it is, and he is again and again, he is encouraging everybody. You should do everything for Krishna in the job, everything. You should do in such a way that you submit your projects very meticulously to your team leader, so that he will develop a good reputation on you. Because devotees, they are devotees, they are very good people, they are very expert in everything. So devotees also submit their projects on time, so that you get promotions at one point of time. You do, like he gave example of that person who was heading that whole yatra, and he said, he gave one that particular example, and he said that, see, just now he started his career like this, and now he is such a big post, and he's just had to sign the papers, that's all over. He has nothing to do much. So like that, if you are there, you have so much of time for Krishna consciousness. And he was explaining all those things. Then I wrote in the comment, but if Prabhuji, if job is for Krishna, salary is for Krishna, and you're everything submitting, and he also presented his own example. He said that when I was working, I was giving my projects on time. Before even he asks, I used to submit, and I was so meticulous in all the submission of my reports. And he was explaining on and on and on about his achievements, what he has done at one point. But one fine day, I told my team leader that in no way doing. I'm joining the ashram, the PS. Sorry, I should not say that full form and all, whatever it is. I said, I should tell in a different way. Now I am going to join the brahmachari ashram. Now, and the team leader became very, very sad, it seems. Oh, you're submitting your projects on time before even I asked. Oh, we are losing such a big personality here. So in this way, devotee, he submits everything on time, so that he has time for Krishna so much. And he was explaining, go on, go on. I wrote in the comment that, but if job is for Krishna, salary is for Krishna, you're submitting your reports on time, then why the heck you left your job and joined brahmachari ashram? If everything was Krishna, you're seeing Krishna 24/7 in the computer, in the project, in the job, in the salary, in the team leader, you are seeing Krishna everywhere. Sthane Sthitikata. You're every time seeing Krishna everywhere. Then why the heck you left the job and joined brahmachari ashram and adorned the saffron clothes? What the hell is this? And you're encouraging all others to even study, become. What is this? I don't understand what is going on here. Then he didn't reply for that, but I'm saying this diplomacy and duplicity will not work. He is telling people to work so that he will get that donation. That's the main thing. You have to encourage people so that they will give the donations on every month. Dashama Bhagam, like in the Christianity, in the Kalveri temple, that Satish Kumar says, na. I don't know if somebody would have gone. They will say that you will give Dashama Bhagam, 10% of your salary, whatever it is, you should put in the hundi. So like that, these devotees are ready to capture they will have some other book released, they will have some other project going on, they will have some other thing, so that the donations will fall in their lap every time and time and time and now. This is the very, very nicely, and they live very, very, they may not have watch, they have very nice laptop made from a MacBook. They will use only smartphone. They have 10, 15 under there, one for social media, one for 10 students working under him. Fellow, this guy will around say take rest at 8:30, wake up at Mangalarti at nicely at 4 o'clock, chant all his rounds, and all these students who are under him, they will slog for hours and hours before the computer, SEOs for Facebook, Instagram, this, that. They will take videos, cut the videos, and do all sorts of donkey job for him. And this guy is sitting in the throne as if he is dictating everybody. This is what is going on all over in ISKCON in India, in the leaders, so-called leaders. They have very nice posh life. Although they are simple, they live this sleep on the floor, but they have very nice posh life. Car come to him wherever he comes. Mala is ready. Devotees are ready, chanting, dancing. Only thing is that he can memorize so many shlokas. He can cut a profile of so-called purity, and very nicely he can project his degrees and so-called vast educational background. This is the thing. And I was shocked to see that he is telling job is for Krishna. Instead of telling that this is all nonsense, you just forget it. What is the use of when Maharaj once what is this Natak Gaurang Prabhu's wife, she went and first time she met Guru Maharaj, and she said that Maharaj asked, "What are you doing?" So Mataji said, "I am now doing MSc in chemistry." Then Maharaj said, "You should be master in sabji and chapati. Instead of that, you're doing master of science and chemistry. What is that you are doing?"
She was
That
doing
is what
bachelor
is
in
preaching.
dentistry.
Sorry?
She was doing bachelor in dentistry. She was a dentist.
She was a dentist?
Yeah,
But I don't know,
she
somehow
studied dentist. She studied dentistry.
somebody told me that you should be expert in master of sabji and chapati. I heard like that. Maybe
Yeah,
some other
that's true.
devotee.
My wife, she's Shiksha Guru of my wife. So yeah, that's true what you said.
Okay, maybe that Mataji is there, but I heard from devotees at least some Mataji was asked to Maharaj, and Maharaj told you should be master of sabji and chapati instead of MSc in chemistry or something. So this is what is real preaching is all about. Okay, somebody you completed Paramatma Prabhu?
No, Prabhu.
You can complete these lines.
The United States has vast educational institutions where everyone is allowed to receive an education, but the result is that most students become like hippies. He put
Okay,
it
Prabhu. I
okay.
can request some other do. Uh, uh, okay, Jagannath Chandra Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. He put it starkly, why compulsory education? To make hippies compulsory education to degrade. On the basis of traditional Varnashrama norms, Srila Prabhupada advocated academic schooling only for Brahmanas. Others were to be trained according to their future occupation. Schooling is meant specially for Brahmanas. Previously, there was no question. No schooling for Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, or Shudras. Kshatriyas used to learn the technology of warfare, and Vaishyas learned business from their fathers or other businessmen. They were not meant to study the Vedas. Literary education is for Brahminical class, not for all. Others should learn by seeing, like Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Just like driving a bullock cart, it doesn't require education. Srila Prabhupada explained in more detail. Higher education is not meant for everyone. Only selected individuals trained in Brahminical culture should be allowed to pursue a higher education. Educational institutions should not aim to teach technology, for a technologist cannot properly be called educated. A technologist is a Shudra.
See, Prabhupada is saying a technologist cannot be called educated. I don't.
A technologist is a Shudra. Only who studies the Vedas may properly be called a learned man, Pandita.
Big trauma.
The duty of a Brahmana is to become learned in the Vedic literature and teach the Vedic knowledge to other Brahmanas. In our Krishna consciousness movement, we are simply teaching our students to become fit Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. In our school at Dallas, the students are learning English and Sanskrit and thorough these two languages. They are studying all our books, such as Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita as it is, and the Nectar of Devotion. It is a mistake to educate every student as a technologist. There must be a group of students who become Brahmanas. Without Brahmanas who study the Vedic literature, human society will be entirely chaotic. Desiring To practically manifest a Vedic educational institution, Srila Prabhupada wrote in 1969, Rupaniga Vidyapita is a school for educating Brahmanas and Vaishnavas. We have enough technological and other types of educational institutions, but perhaps none where actual Brahmanas and Vaishnavas are produced. So we have to establish an educational institution for that purpose. Shortly thereafter, this desire fructified in the form of ISKCON Gurukulas. Gurukula. The old system of Gurukula should be revived as a perfect example of a system designed to produce great men, sober and responsible leaders who know what is real welfare of the citizens. Just as in former days, all big personalities were trained in this way. As a fundamentally different alternative to the slaughterhouse of so-called education that mercilessly groom innocent children for a meaningless life of toil in the brain-killing and soul-killing civilization. Srila Prabhupada mercifully provided Krishna-conscious Gurukulas based on the principles of Srimad Bhagavatam. Gurukula education is primarily meant for character training, not scholarship. In Gurukula, we are not going to make some big scholars. We don't require scholars. We require ideal men by character, by behavior, by Krishna consciousness, not by studying grammar. There are many. There are many grammarians. Let them study your books nicely. English, little Sanskrit. That's all. Organize Gurukul like that. We don't want big scholars unnecessarily. There are so many scholars in the universities drinking and woman hunting. That's all. We shall have to teach character and spiritual understanding to the young children. To study other things as a high grade scholar is secondary for us. The first thing is to build up character and be experienced in the understanding of the conclusion of sins of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Our Gurukula means to teach them to become self-controlled. That is the first business. Literary education and grammar are secondary. The first necessity is how to create them Shanta, Danta, and self-controlled.
No, it's Shanta Danta.
Shanta, Danta, self-control.
Danta.
Danta.
Danta means being humble.
Okay, Danta means okay.
Yeah.
Renunciation and a spirit of the service to the Guru are to be inculcated. This saves children from the greatest violence. The Gurukula must be based on the principles of renunciation. Vairagya, Vidya, Nija Bhakti Yoga. Chaitanya Charitamrita 2.6.254. Bhakti is based on the principle of renunciation of material desires beginning from earliest stage. Kaumara Acharet Pragno Dharmana Bhagavatam Yeha. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.6.1. From the very beginning, a boy must be trained to perform devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and not to be attracted as are karmis to the so-called fallible soldiers. Deha Pater Kalatra Disva
Atma Sainyeshu Asatsyapi Esham Pramatto Nidhanam Pashyannapi na Pashyati.
Srimad Bhagavatam 2.1.4. The karmis are attached to their bodies, children and wives, who are like fallible fighting soldiers who must ultimately. Yes, Prabhuji, next page. Be destroyed. Although they are sufficiently experienced, they cannot see this. Therefore, our young men must be trained at the earliest age to not be attached to so many things like home, family, friendship, society, and nation. To train the innocent boy to be a sense gratifier at the early age when the child is actually happy in any circumstance is the greatest violence. Train the innocent mind to be sense gratifier at an early age when the child is actually happy. Okay. Therefore, Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan Danto Gurur Hitam. Danto.
Here it is there, that word. Vasan Danto Gurur Hitam.
Danto Gurur Hitam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.12.1. The Brahmachari lives at the place of spiritual master and works for the benefit of the spiritual master by begging for his maintenance, cleaning, learning the principles of Krishna consciousness, and engaging in the process of Bhagavata Dharma. whereby his life will have a firm, sane foundation with which he can overcome the forces of Maya by strong training in the beginning. Teach the boys how to be controlled in the mind and senses. How to rise early in the morning, chant the Hare Krishna mantra, go to the Yamuna for bathing, then study some Vedic literatures like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Remain always for the benefit of the Prabhuji, next page. Guru and work him as a menial servant. The result of such education will be that the boys at the Gurukula become steady within the course of their arts, with a very little possibility that they will be conquered by the modes of material nature when they are older. They will be perfect Brahmanas who can much benefit human society. Hare Krishna. The blessings of Brahmanas who are not envious, disturbed, or puffed up with pride and false prestige, and who are fully qualified with truthfulness will be useful. Therefore, a class of men must be trained as Brahmanas from the very beginning. Brahmachari Guru ke liye vasan danto gurur hitam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7.12.1. Word dantah is very important. Dantah refers to one who is not envious, disturbing, or puffed up with false prestige. The Krishna conscious movement is trying to introduce such Brahmanas in society. At our Dallas school, children are being taught Sanskrit and English to become perfect Brahmanas. If they are actually trained as perfect Brahmanas, they can save society from rogues and ruffians. Indeed, people can live happily under the protection of qualified Brahmanas. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said when there is an increase of population like cats and dogs, the whole world is just like a hell. So the training of the children is the most essential part of human civilization. Kamara Acharet. From the very beginning, Kamara Acharet. From the very beginning, they should be trained up as brahmachari. Then nice population will come. The whole.
Okay. Danta means controlling of the senses. Okay.
The whole world will be peaceful, just like Vaikuntha. Nobody will be envious. Nobody will be violent. Nobody will be uncivil. Gurukula has a major role in the re-spiritualization of the entire human society. If the children are given a Krishna conscious education from early childhood, then there is a great hope for the future of the world. Yes. And any 5-year-old child can be trained, and within a very short time, his life will become successful by realization of Krishna consciousness. Unfortunately, this training is lacking all over the world. It is necessary for the leader of Krishna consciousness movement to start educational institutions in different parts of the world to train children starting at the age of 5 years. Thus, such children will not become hippies or spoiled children of society. Rather, they can all become devotees of the Lord. The face of the world will then change automatically. Gurukula graduates will benefit society by being competent preachers of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhuji, actually you said Narta Gaurang Prabhu and son is there, Radha Nidhi Mataji. Now their son knows 6,000 sloks with the meaning also. He gives good lectures also on Bhagavatam also. I have heard his lecture also. His name is...
What is that boy's name?
Mukund was his previous name. I don't know what his new name.
I forgot his name. His name was previously...
Mukund.
No, Mukund.
Yeah, but now his name has changed. I don't know. I forgot his new name.
That's okay. So I don't know. He gives good. He is there in Nandagram.
Yeah, he's there in Nandagram. So I had attended his lecture 2 years back at Bhopal.
Mumbai.
Yeah, lecture. He gave Srimad Bhagavatam lecture. We had gone to one devotee's marriage in Bhopal. Yeah, so that's the reason. He had also come and I was also there.
Okay.
Gurukula graduates will benefit society by being competent preachers of Srimad Bhagavatam. For education, Vidya, this Srimad Bhagavatam, if one studies Srimad Bhagavatam, he is well versed in every subject matter. We want to create a new generation in your country so that in the future there will be fluent speakers in Srimad Bhagavatam who preach all over the country and your country will be saved. No wonder then that Srila Prabhupada stated the Gurukula plays an extremely important part in our activities. That it is one of the most important aspect of this moment, or indeed the most important project, which should be given all serious consideration by the members of ISKCON. Especially the most important members of ISKCON should be give careful attention to our Dallas school. Dallas school, first time I'm hearing, with the mandate that Gurukula must be continued at all costs. Srila Prabhupada appointed a GBC man, Jagadisa Dasa, to fully focus on organizing a worldwide network of Gurukulas.
You don't know there was a school in Dallas?
No, Prabhuji, first time.
That is the Gurukul. That is Gurukul was there first in Dallas, and because of the problems in Dallas and something, and they shifted that to Vrindavan. Actually, Vrindavan came later. The first Gurukul was there in Dallas. There's so many pictures of Prabhupada in Dallas. Gurukul with the Gurukul boys. Prabhupada used to dance them. So many photos are there.
So you mean to New Vrindavan or Vrindavan?
Sorry?
You mean to say New Vrindavan or Vrindavan?
Vrindavan.
This
Not New
Mathura
Vrindavan.
Vrindavan.
That's how this Bhaktivedanta Gurukul got this name, Gurukul. But after
Okay,
that,
okay.
the Gurukul is gone, but the name left as Gurukul. But nothing related to Gurukul is going on, but the name is Gurukul. Nowadays, even Swaminarayan temples are, Swaminarayan schools are called Gurukuls, but nothing Gurukul is happening inside.
Correct.
It's one of the derogatory names. Of course, we should not say derogatory. It's one of the misapplied name, just like Guru. Everybody is called as a Guru. And everything is called as a religion. A misapplied word. Dharma. Muslim Dharma, Christian Dharma, Islam Dharma, Hindu Dharma. So Dharma is also a misapplied word. So like that, Gurukul is also nowadays. You just have to put Gurukul. That's all. People become famous.
Yes.
Yoga also, Prabhuji.
Huh?
Yoga also, there is one word
Yoga.
like that.
Yoga. You just put the word called yoga. Yoga stories. Kirtan yoga. Somebody has a kirtan yoga. Kirtan yoga. Kirtan yoga. Bhakti, of course, bhakti yoga is there. But prema yoga. There are various channels. Actually, devotees are expert in putting the Instagram channels, Instagram names. Somebody puts kirtan yoga. Somebody puts prema yoga. Somebody puts rasa yoga. Somebody puts kirtan rasa, prema rasa, bhakti rasa. Abba. What a names. Even the monk word is actually everybody is a monk. Life coach monk, spiritual habit monk. That is spirit. What is that? Spiritual enlightened monk. And what is that? Another person is saying. Another person is saying he is what? He is. I don't know. So many monk word is there. Okay, we can continue, brother. If I
Your
keep on
full-time
speaking, then I keep on speaking, then so many things are unnecessarily I'll speak. So better you read it.
Okay. Your full-time engagement should now be how to organize the Gurukulas all over the world. Do it very nicely and thoughtfully. Make the Gurukula program your portfolio and organize it throughout the world. Devotees should make it the model education institution in the world. Because if we are able to make a whole generation of our children into fine Krishna conscious preachers, that will be the glory of our moment and the glory of your country as well. Overall, the basic principle of this Gurukula is that we are trying to generate some population fully Krishna conscious so that in the future they may preach very nicely. To Gurukula teachers, Srila Prabhupada wrote, I consider your work the most important in the society because they are shaping the future generation of our Krishna consciousness preachers, and this is not any small thing. Seeing these children to be the future hope of society and the future hope of our preaching Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada stressed that it is a very important matter how we are training them in Krishna consciousness from the very childhood. He wanted to produce a new generation from the very childhood thinking of Krishna, playing of Krishna, eating Krishna, 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 who would all grow to the first class preachers and devotees. The Gurukula is meant for this purpose, teach them and let them go around the world to teach. Addressing the first ever batch of the Gurukula students, Srila Prabhupada said, "You are all very nice devotees. You are very, very fortunate to have the opportunity to be going to this Gurukula. It is the only one of its kind in the world. You are the first students and you must set a good example for others. Always being very enthusiastic to learn from your teachers, offering all respect to your teachers, leading the kirtanas with experience. In future, you
Exuberance.
exuberance. What does it
Exuberance.
mean? Exuberance means
Maybe blissful, I don't know. You see, the quality of being full of energy, excitement, cheerfulness,
exuberance.
brilliance, quality of growing profusely, luxuriance. You see, filled with character, lively, energetic. Yes.
In future, you will be leaders of the Krishna consciousness movement. So now you must take this training preparation very seriously. Later,
Okay,
Srila
Prabhu.
Okay.
I will request some other devotee to read. Okay, Shyam Sarup Prabhu, you can read.
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Later, Srila Prabhupada said regarding Vrindavana Gurukula students, they will preach throughout the whole world. Realistically, surmising that not all Gurukula students would live up to such expectations, Srila Prabhupada wanted that they at least remain devotees. We cannot expect that many of the students will stay in the temple, but they should be so nicely trained that no matter what they do later in life, they will never forget Krishna. He wanted not just one central Gurukula, but there there should be small Gurukulas everywhere. Our next program is to start children's schools in all our centers. We want to train all children from the beginning of life in Krishna consciousness. When a devotee proposed homeschooling, Srila Prabhupada responded, "You follow that Brahmachari Gurukule Vasam that I have already explained. That should be done. Don't bring any new imported ideas. That will not be helpful. It will be an
Oh, Baba.
encumbrance."
Everybody wants their children homeschooling nowadays, but Prabhupada is against that. What to do?
While envisioning that many thousands and millions of children can be taught in devotion, Srila Prabhupada stressed that the quality of education is more important than the number of students. We want to make our institution at least a place for understanding this knowledge. It doesn't matter if only a few persons understand, that is sufficient. Ekas chandras tamohanti na cha tarah sahasrasha. One moon in the sky is sufficient for light. What is the use of millions of stars? Modern education is creating millions of twinkling stars, all useless for light. And our Vedic civilization is to create one moon. If you can just make one child Krishna conscious, that will be a great service. Being aware that the Gurukula project was an experiment, Srila Prabhupada was concerned that it should come out nicely. Referring to Gurukula students, he warned, if we neglect somehow or other, and if we lose even one Vaishnava, that is a very great loss. Government
Yes,
syllabi
Prabhu.
rejected.
Mm.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, continue.
Okay. Repeatedly,
We
Srila
complete this.
Prabhupada Okay. Repeatedly, Srila Prabhupada emphasized that he was interested in education only on the basis of Krishna consciousness. We are interested to open a school if there is education for Krishna consciousness, as we have opened in Dallas for small children. That we are interested in because there is Krishna. But we are not interested in so called godless education. That is not our business. While for strategic reasons he wanted government recognition for an adult language school, Srila Prabhupada emphatically did not want it for Gurukula. Although several times petitioned to incorporate government regulations and syllabi, Srila Prabhupada vehemently rejected all such proposals. When a devotee suggested concerning the Bhakti Vedanta Gurukula in Vrindavana, I was thinking we should get this Gurukula accepted by the government also. Srila Prabhupada interjected, no, 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 never do that. Despite being pressed, Srila Prabhupada remained firm, saying, government curriculum is useless. Keep this institution pure, not that we have to make it impure. If we don't get government approval, it will remain vacant, but we don't want to introduce impure. He insisted we are not going to abide by the government schedule. We are not going we are not going to follow the university curriculum. We have got our own. We are not going to teach biology or chemistry. Our students should be fit for teaching Krishna consciousness by their character, by their behavior, by their knowledge. That is wanted. Biologists, chemists, physicists, and mathematicians, there are hundreds and thousands. We are not going to waste our time. That Gurukula should that Gurukula should produce a great grammarian, a great geologist, biologist. Don't want that. There are many other educational institutes. If you can get a good driver for your car, what is the use of wasting your time to learn driving? Better employ one driver, pay him some fare. What will they do with biology? Don't introduce unnecessary nonsense things. Simple life, simply to understand Krishna.
I don't know if devotees have read any time these quotes. What will you do with what will you do with biology? So many devotees have biology degrees. Don't introduce unnecessary nonsense things, simple life. And this Bhaktivedanta Gurukul in Vrindavan that is praised like anything. They have a big building, they have big temple, they have kirtan melas, this, that, so much they do. Uh, Simply on government syllabus. They have early in the morning Vrindavana, Ramya Sthana, and the whole day they teach. Whole day they learn about all atheists, and in the evening they have some Prabhupada and some Guru Puja, and they're like they do Arati, deity worship, and all those things. But the whole day they are busy working on the robotics. Sometimes you see pictures of them getting in the robotics. Our students are selected. What is the use of robotics? What will they do? They will not understand Krishna anytime. That is meant for creating very good devotees to join full time or join Krishna consciousness. But hardly anybody joins. Everybody becomes a karmis. Yes.
Simply let them be convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is our duty to serve Him. That's all. Regarding a school for neighborhood children in Juhu, Bombay, Srila Prabhupada wrote, our school will not be government recognized because we cannot follow the government syllabus. We want to teach only Krishna consciousness. He warned, government recognition means we have to abide by the orders of government. Rejecting arguments for the supposed advantages of government mandated examinations and certificates, he asserted, if you want to satisfy the parents, the government, then it is not possible. You have to satisfy Krishna. We don't follow the government regulations. For already established secular education institutions, Srila Prabhupada enjoined at the very outset of his commentarial opus on Srimad Bhagavatam that Srimad Bhagavatam should be introduced in the schools and colleges in order to change the demoniac phase of society.
Okay, Prabhu, we will stop
Okay, Prabhu.
here. We will meet tomorrow because time is up. One thing I wanted to just tell in between where that PhD education, all these things came. In one lecture, as well as Bhaktivikas Swami Maharaj was there in Chennai. I was also there in that lecture. Maharaj was telling about devotees and people getting degrees and they want to preach and all those things. And then at the question answer session, one devotee was raising, asking questions to Maharaj, and he put forward one question humbly, telling that Maharaj, if we have degrees, then we can preach very nicely in this college and colleges, universities, in IITs, and we have a PhD, then people will give weight to us, they will give us a lot of importance, so they will hear from us. Then Maharaj gave his own example that Prabhupada, his own example, being out from the school, he didn't study much, and Prabhupada himself discontinued his own degrees for starting going to the Gandhi movement, and later he became active in Krishna consciousness, preaching and all. So Prabhupada, Maharaj was giving all sorts of example, and then he told, yeah, if you have a degree, then you can do it better. Like, if you have a do it, if you have a degree, then you preach, then that's okay. But don't unnecessarily make it a thing in such a way that you have to acquire just because to preach, just because people will hear from you. It's not necessary. Just like my disciple is there in Gujarat, he is a leader. He opened more than 17 centers. He is traveling all over India. He hardly studied sixth standard. He didn't have a primary education also, but he is preaching Krishna consciousness very nicely. He takes Bhagavatam class daily in one sense. Practically, he takes Bhagavatam class daily. 365 days he is having Bhagavatam class in the morning, in the evening. Every day he is having classes. And then Maharaj was giving again and again. But that devotee was insisting again and again and again and again. And Maharaj at one point of time, he became so, he became so angry that he banged the table. He banged literally the table. Why don't you understand? Why don't you hear from me what I am saying? That if you have a degree, you preach. If you don't have a degree, why are you working so hard just to gain that degree? He became so angry. And not only that, it's recorded. If you want, you can hear that lecture called Eager to Become a PhD. I don't know if somebody has heard that lecture or not. There is a lecture in Chennai, in Rangakrishna Prabhu's center. There is one place in Chennai. So Maharaj gave that lecture. I was also there. And after the lecture also, Maharaj, he was insisting, and again, Maharaj became furious like anything. I never saw Maharaj. It was new at that time. I was new to Krishna consciousness because just 1 year of ashram joining in 2009 or some 2010, I think, Maharaj came. And then Maharaj, again, he came to that same place next year and he gave the lecture, Why I Shouted Last Year. That lecture title is Why I Shouted Last Year. Why I shouted last time or last year or last lecture or something is it? Why I shouted this particular lecture. If you want, you can just search on the BVK's digital media. You can search. There are two lectures. One is Eager to Become a PhD. Another one is Why I Shouted Last Time. There is one lecture. So you can hear those both lectures. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for your attention. So we will meet tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpatarubhescha kripasindebhyevacha. Oh, sorry. If you devotees want to say something, they can say. You want to say something? Nothing. Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhescha kripasindebhyevacha paritanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavyo namo. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. As long as Bhakti Vikas Swami Maharaj ki jai. Jai. The more Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. No problem.
Prabhupada.